2 of the 2025 NFL Draft is officially over. The Patriots did welcome 3 new players to their roster, 1 in round 2, 2 in round 3. Thank you to Brett Alper, hopped in while I was live on our Celtics Today channel. He talked a little bit about the round 2 selection for the Patriots, TreVeyon Henderson. Go on ahead, check out that video right now on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. But I'm going to break down the 2 picks the Patriots selected with pick number 69 and then pick number 95. They ended up trading way back from pick number 77. On the back half of the show, I'm just going to give you my overall grades on how I think the Patriots did in day 2. I mean, I know I don't have to tell you guys, we notoriously haven't had the best history with the NFL Draft, but overall, I think today, was a success. So before I hop into that, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys have not already. This is the week 2. Be subscribed to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. So if you guys have not already, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. I promise you are not going to regret it. So as you guys know, the Patriots did take their selection with pick number 69. They did not trade that one down. And who they decided to take was the wide receiver out of Washington State, Kyle Williams. Now keep in mind, when Luther Burden was still on the board, we decided to take TreVeyon Henderson. I'm not mad at that pick. I definitely think you probably should have addressed the wide receiver position before you touched on the running back position. But, I'm not Mike Vrabel, and I do know that Josh McDaniels was very, very high on a guy like Henderson. He loved the way that he was a pass-blocking running back. So hopefully that does come in handy. But Kyle Williams came as a bit of a surprise to me because there were still players like Alec Ayomanor that I thought maybe fit the Patriots mold just a little bit better here. And a guy like Williams, once again, it's not an overall bad pick, but I do think that a lot of draft analysts are saying that his ceiling is kind of a wide receiver 3. Well, for the Patriots, I feel as if they already have plenty of wide receiver 3s and not enough wide receiver 2s, if you know what I mean. So here in the scouting report from our friend Tom Downey here at Chat Sports, he gave them the number 11 wide receiver. Good success this year as a deep threat despite undersized frame. He's sitting about 5'11" right now, so kind of a Pop Douglas type of target. And as we've known from Drake Maye this last year, he likes the tall targets. Hunter Henry, 6'4", was his number 1 pass catcher this past year. But he also didn't really have a deep threat. I know we had one long ball to Kayshon Boutte towards the end of the season, but obviously they want to get Drake Maye a weapon down the field in your go route. Great in contested catches, especially after the catch, something Patriots really didn't have last year, and creates more vertical separation than horizontal. Route running, however, does need work. And I have no doubt that a guy like Josh McDaniels will be able to pull out the best type of possibilities for a guy like Kyle Williams. He's going to get the most out of him. And so when you can see here, a little bit too many drops in my opinion. Definitely could be quarterback play at Washington State, but 70 receptions for 101 targets, that leaves 31 balls left up in the air. So I'm not 100%. I haven't watched enough film to know if that was more quarterback style or wide receiver, but still, obviously wasn't an issue because he racked up 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, and the average catch, 17 yards. You guys can see that this is clearly a go route type of receiver. As you guys know, that Drake Maye has a very strong arm, just hasn't necessarily gotten the weapons that he may need to be able to have some success down the road. So I do think Kyle Williams overall is a fine pick. I'll give you guys my grade towards the back half of this show, but I was a little frustrated that I do think there were some wide receiver 2s left on the board, and we went for a guy like Kyle Williams. Now, I do think his ceiling is very high, which will be good for a offensive coordinator like Josh McDaniels, but I also know that we're putting a lot of faith into Stephon Diggs, as you should. Fantastic wide receiver, but also 31 years old coming off an injury. I personally wanted a guy like Trey Harris or Luther Burden just to make sure that we had a solid wide receiver 2 that we can plug and play if Diggs were to go down with an injury. I do think Kyle Williams could be that, but I don't have as much faith as I normally do in a player like I did Luther Burden heading into day 2. Obviously, the Patriots selected TreVeyon Henderson 1 spot ahead of where Luther Burden was drafted, which I believe he did go to the Bears. So let me go ahead and ask you guys this question here. Do you like the Kyle Williams pick? Just a simple type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys are feeling about Williams. Hopefully I'm not too harsh on him. I really don't have a problem with the pick. I just figured maybe there was a other talent on the board that I might have wanted to scoop up before Williams. But I'm going to break down the other draft pick at number 95 in just 1 second. I do want to go on ahead and tell you guys real quick about our sponsor on today's show, and of course, that is Prize Picks. If you guys want to watch some sports and win some cash while doing so, then Prize Picks is the app for you. You guys can go on ahead and get started right now as the basketball playoffs are in full effect, and you guys can actually cash in on your favorite players for possibly one last time while they are playing for elimination in the basketball playoffs. Don't miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court to your Prize Picks lineup, whether it's points, rebounds, or assists. Take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash today. That's right, up to 2,000 times your cash. Turn your playoff hot takes into tickets to basketball's championship series. Starting with the play-in round, every lineup you make on Prize Picks will enter you into the Takes 2 ticket sweepstakes, which could get you and a +1 a VIP trip to the ship. Go on ahead and download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Don't even need to win that first $5 lineup to get the $50. It is guaranteed. So go on ahead, download the Prize Picks app, use promo code CLNS. That'll get you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. The Patriots traded down pick number 77 with the Carolina Panthers, then traded back down to 85. Once again, they traded down to 95, which is where they selected the center out of Georgia, Jared Wilson. This came as a bit of a surprise to me, I will be honest. I did know the Patriots needed to bulk up a lot of positions on their offensive line, so I don't necessarily have an issue with this. But I do think you still had plenty of positions that you could have still addressed before possibly going back to add more to your depth chart, because let's be honest, this is not a starter. Garrett Bradbury is going to be your starter. But this is a depth piece that you can continue to grow over the next couple of years. And that's great. I just have always felt those depth pieces fit more in the 4 to 6 range, maybe 5 to 7. Maybe not round 3. But here's what Tom Downey had to say. He actually has him as a number 2 overall center, number 70 overall in terms of draft prospects. Impressive athlete with the quickness and hands to do plenty at the center position. And I do think him learning behind Bradbury will be good for him to progress down the line. Maybe they're trying to recreate a David Andrews situation here of drafting a guy and hopefully him playing in New England from start to finish. Held up very well in pass protection. Whoo-wee! I love the sound of that. We got plenty of great run blockers on the offensive line, so maybe adding a bit more to the pass block. All right, not opposed to it. Needs more reps to help eliminate the inexperience as a processor. So clearly, like I just said, he will not be a starter for New England, at least this season, because he is still a little bit inexperienced. So that is what happens in the draft. You know, you're taking these college kids and just hoping that you can just develop them into who you want them to be. But overall, the pass blocking grade is a lot better than the run blocking grade. I do like that 84.9. It's actually higher than Will Campbell's at left tackle right now. And he's still playing for an SEC team. So that's a very impressive stat line to have and almost 1,000 snaps. And I don't care if you play left guard, left tackle, center, or if you are pouring water on the bench for your team. If you allow 0 sacks while you do it, I will always be a fan of snagging another offensive lineman that knows how to protect his quarterback. And like I said, I'm really not surprised here that New England went with another offensive line. Obviously, it is a huge need for New England for the foreseeable future. But knowing that edges were very heavy in day 2, I would have liked to still address the edge issue that we need. Possibly add another safety to that mix. There were still some good wide receivers on the board. I don't know if you want to double down on receivers in the 3rd round, but clearly we are still sticking with the offense, as we should. The Patriots did a lot of reworking to the defense and free agency, which I am thankful for. So I'm wondering how the next couple of days are going to play out for New England in terms of what exactly they're going to be looking for. But overall, my grade for Kyle Williams is going to be a B. It was the same grade I actually ended up giving Will Campbell. I think he was great at Washington State. I think he has a lot of upside. I love a receiver that's got over 1,100 yards. I mean, New England hasn't seen that since 2019 with Julian Edelman. So I'm going to give it a solid B, just because when you have draft analysts saying that his ceiling is a wide receiver 3, A, that could be a chip on his shoulder. Maybe he's trying to prove him wrong. But also, it could be facts. And I do think that New England has a plethora of good receivers. Not great. Really not even game-changing. Just good. Good receivers. They obviously made it to the Professional Football League. Like Jalen Polk, Javon Baker. But we haven't seen what they can do. I feel like we have 9 guys fighting for the wide receiver 3 position and nobody really contending for a wide receiver 2, like a Luther Burden, a Trey Harris, a Jaden Higgins, an Alec Manor, which is why I'm not mad at the Kyle Williams pick. But if it's true, and if New England's history has taught us anything, we have missed out on some pretty good receivers in the past. That's where I start to get skeptical. So maybe this is just, I'm a little bit nervous because the Patriots have always not had the greatest success with receivers. So hopefully Kyle Williams proves not just me wrong, but all the analysts out there as well that think that his ceiling is possibly just a wide receiver 3. So overall, B is passing, obviously. But I am going to go on ahead and give Jared Wilson the grade of a C-. Once again, passing. I was a big fan of C-minuses in high school. But center is a position you already addressed in free agency twice. Wes Schweitzer and then Garrett Bradbury. Now you drafted Jared Wilson. I'm not mad the Patriots decided to pick up another offensive lineman. Believe me, I am never going to be mad at that. But was this the right time to do so? That is where I start to question, and that is where my grade drops a little bit. I have no doubt this man is an athlete. This man is going to protect Drake Maye, whether it's in 2025 or 2028. Hopefully he's still with New England by then. But when you still need some extra depth in other places, maybe even a starter at some places, or at least competition, and you went with Garrett Bradbury, Wes Schweitzer, Cole Strange, who you still haven't really gotten a grasp on, now Jared Wilson, it's just not my favorite pick. Not my favorite, but, I'm just one person. And the reason why we have Patriots Today by Chat Sports is because we like to have multiple opinions on this show and hear what you guys think about this grade and this pick. So I gave you guys my grades here. I did a B for Kyle Williams and a C- for Jared Wilson. Do you agree with these grades? Type A for agree, type D for disagree. And as always, if you guys haven't already, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. This is the one-stop hub to get everything you guys need to know about the NFL Draft and your future possible favorite players on the Patriots. So go on ahead and do one thing for me and hit that sub button.